Beijing, China protested a U.S. Navy patrol that sent a guided missile destroyer near a group of man-made islands in the South China Sea on Thursday, in the first American challenge to Beijing and APO's claims to the waters since President Trump took office. China and APO's defense ministry told reporters that it had sought an explanation with U.S. officials over the incident, which involved the USS Dewey and took place around Mischief Reef, one of a chain of artificial islands China has built and fortified to assert its claims over the strategic waterway. U.S.-Chinese aircraft in UNSAFE encounter over South China Sea. The Dewey came within 6 miles of the reef, U.S. defense officials have confirmed to CBS News. A Chinese frigate shadowed the American warship during its passage, and 2 other Chinese vessels were in vicinity. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin reports the Dewey was challenged 23 times by the Chinese vessel over the radio. The DEWEY and APO's crew responded with standard language identifying their vessel and stating that it was operating in international waters. Washington has in the past insisted that it has the right to conduct so-called freedom of navigation operations, or FONOPs, in the area because it is in international waters. The Navy conducted similar operations under former President Obama, but had not done so since Mr. Trump took office and began talking up the prospect of warming ties with Beijing and cooperating over issues like North Korea. A spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry said the U.S. destroyer had TRESPASSD near islands over which China has indisputable sovereignty. We urge the U.S. to correct this mistake and stop taking further actions so as to avoid hurting peace and security in the region and long-term cooperation between the 2 countries. Foreign Ministry spokesman Liu Kang said. Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Ren Guiqiang told reporters at a monthly news briefing that a pair of Chinese Navy frigates had warned off the American ship after it entered the area without China and APO's permission. We urge the American side to take concrete efforts to correct its wrongdoings and add more positive energy to the military-to-military relationship, Ren said. The spokesman added that the U.S. actions not only pose the risk of sparking an accident at sea, but would only motivate the Chinese military to enhance its capacity. China claims virtually the entire South China Sea and has aggressively tried to fortify its foothold in recent years by transforming 7 mostly submerged reefs into island outposts, some with runways and radars and, more recently, weapons systems. The work is opposed by the other claimants to the atolls and the United States, which are wary of restrictions on ship movements in a key waterway for world trade which boasts rich fishing grounds and a potential wealth of undersea oil, gas and mineral deposits. An international tribunal last year rejected most of China and APO's claims to the waters and said its land reclamation was aggravating tensions and violating the sovereignty of fellow claimant the Philippines. China has ignored the ruling. China contends the man-made islands are primarily for civilian purposes and to increase safety for ships. It is said that WON and APO's interfere with freedom of navigation or overflight, but there have been questions about whether that includes military ships and aircraft. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators earlier this month urged Trump to resume freedom of navigation operations that had last been conducted in October. The senators described the South China Sea as critical to U.S. national security interests and to peace in the Asia-Pacific. U.S. Defense Department spokesman Major Jamie Davis said in an emailed statement that U.S. forces in the Asia-Pacific region would continue to conduct freedom of navigation operations to challenge excessive maritime claims in order to preserve the rights, freedoms, and uses of the sea and airspace guaranteed to all nations under international law. Davis gave no details of THURSDAY and APO's operation, saying summaries would only be released in an annual report and adding that U.S. forces conducted such operations last year to challenge claims by 22 coastal states, including allies and partners. U.S. forces operate in the Asia-Pacific region on a daily basis, including in the South China Sea. All operations are conducted in accordance with international law and demonstrate that the United States will fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, Davis said. FONOPs are not about any one country, nor are they about making political statements.